Hello to all my friends and family, and welcome to Jim's 5am Club. What a glorious, glorious summer's day that it's turned out to be. I'm up here on the Cahill walkway, and it's just a magical, magical Sydney summer day. Just glorious. Let's go on a walk and talk, and I'll have a chat about a book summary. Today's book summary is an interesting one. It's a perfect one for a day like today, and it's entitled You're Not Listening. You're Not Listening by Kate Murphy. What an interesting book this is. And as you can probably appreciate, it's all about listening and sharpening our listening skills and helping us with our communication with not only ourselves but with the people around us. So this book here is all about learning how to improve your listening skills and how to pay better attention. So the author kicks off the book with an interesting observation, and she basically says that everyone is interesting if you ask the right questions. How wonderful is that? Everyone is interesting if you ask the right questions. And the author also suggests that if someone is boring, dull and uninteresting, it's on you. It's not about them, it's all about you not being able to ask the right questions and gain the right responses. So an interesting observation, I think we all can agree with this, is that over time we've all become worse at listening. Our listening skills have deteriorated over time, and we need to do something about it in order to enhance the quality of our life, the quality of our experience, and also to make more of our lives. The author talks about the importance of making every person feel special, and it's our duty, it's your duty, it's my duty to make people feel better and feel special. So there's a couple of lessons to come out of this book, and we'll just go through the three key learnings and see where it leads us. And the learning number one: if you want to become a good listener, you've got to stop talking about yourself and learn and listen to what others are saying. And the bottom line, the most important thing to learn in life is what people want from us. The one thing that people want from us is to listen to them and not to talk about ourselves. The problem with most of us and most people is that we're too engrossed in broadcasting ourselves on social media. Our attention span is less now than what a goldfish's attention span is. How funny is that? So if you do become a good listener, what the author suggests is it will set you apart. It will set you apart from everybody else and make you an interesting person to be with, and somebody that people will tear off their right arm to be able to enjoy. So the first lesson from the book is to learn to stop talking about yourself. The second lesson is that we need to learn to be curious about people, to become curious about everybody outside of ourselves. What a concept that is. And it's coming from a world where we're engrossed in our selfies, we're engrossed in our opinions. But at the end of the day, if you want to be admired, if you want to be welcomed, if you want to be befriended, then you need to learn the most important skill of all, and that is to learn how to become curious about other people. And interestingly enough, and I think we all can appreciate this, that everyone has a story and each story is unique. Each story that each person has is unique, interesting and special. So it's up to us to learn how to discover what that story is and to make the most of it. And the way you do it, according to the author of this wonderful book, is we need to follow up with questions that show that we're interested and that we're listening. So we need to fill our insatiable curiosity, and that way will lead us to living a better life and also making people around us feel fulfilled as well. So we need to become better at being curious. We need to learn to be comfortable with striking up conversations with random people. And so we start up a random conversation, and then the key to keep it going is to stop talking and to start listening. And people will fill in the gaps, fill in the blanks with their talking. And all we have to do is just appreciate it, welcome it, and just pay attention and listen. So don't talk, ask questions, and just listen is lesson number 2 from this fantastic book. And the third lesson from this book is a pretty obvious one, but one that most people don't seem to get. And you need to learn how to ask the right questions. And this is something that I learned from this book, a very, very powerful lesson. And there are 2 types of questions, or 2 types of responses that we have available to us. We've got a thing called a shift response, and we've got something called a support response. The author talks about the importance of learning how to use a support response. And a support response basically is asking the sort of questions that helps people feel better about themselves, as opposed to questions that make you feel better about yourself. Like a shift response, a typical shift response is a question that basically is asked to shift the attention onto you, as opposed to putting the attention on the person who's being questioned. So the author brings to the fore a powerful concept of support response. So asking questions of people that helps those people feel better about themselves. So the sort of questions that you may want to ask people is questions that get people to explain their situation a little bit better, open-ended questions that allow people to peel the onion, to talk, to explain themselves. And if you don't fill in the blanks, if you don't talk over them, then you're basically allowing them the invitation, the opportunity to explain the situation and to talk about greater detail. And it's in the detail, once you peel the onion, it's in the detail that you learn more about people and you become open to how interesting people are. It's interesting, whenever I do a vlog up here, there are always dickheads who will go past and bip their horns, but it doesn't matter. They won't distract me. I'll just continue along my merry way. That wasn't a horn, that was a train, by the way. So once you ask general questions and open-ended questions which lead to a support response, what you need to do is learn how to follow up with specific questions to gain clarity about what people are talking about. And don't impose your thinking on them is a very, very important point. Let them say what they want to say, be curious and let them talk, because at the end of the day, something that all of us need to understand. People aren't stupid. People aren't stupid. They don't need you to tell them what to do, because people know, we all know how to solve our own problems, and we don't need to be told and retold by somebody who's questioning us. The trick is to ask the question and let the person talk. Let them answer their own question. Let them be the centre of the questioning process, and let them be the star of the show without trying to talk over them and steal their limelight. The big problem that people have is that they'll ask questions to trip people up. They'll ask questions so that they can tell them what to do. And it's not the way to go about building rapport and building friendships. Because what you really want to do is you want to ask people questions, and you want to give them the run of the floor. Allow them to answer the questions, allow them to feel good, allow them to feel special, and allow them to want you in their lives. Anyway, I think we'll finish up there, so thank you very much for joining me on Jim's 5am Club. We'll finish off with a positive affirmation. I'm alive, I'm well, and I feel absolutely great. To my friends and family, stay connected, stay relevant, and most importantly, let's stay reasonable and learn a few things about how to listen and how to gain and build rapport with those people around us. And the way we do it, according to Kate Murphy from the book You're Not Listening, is we need to first start to learn how to stop talking about ourselves, zip our gob, and only use our mouth to ask questions. We need to be curious about people around us, because everybody's got a wonderful story to tell, and it's only through listening and asking open-ended questions that you get to find out about the people around you. But not only do we need to ask questions, but we need to learn how to ask the right questions. Support response questions which help people feel better about themselves and help people want to open up and talk about themselves. And the way we do it is by asking open-ended questions and following up with specific questions to gain further clarity, and not to impose our thinking on other people, nor to tell people how to go about solving their problems and living their lives. Because at the end of the day, as the author says, people know how to solve their own problems, and all they really want is somebody to listen to them, to allow them to vent, to talk about their challenges, and to get it out in the open. And women are very, very good at talking and chatting their problems through, whereas men, on the other hand, have a lot more issue, a lot more problem with opening up, which is a challenge. And I guess from a woman's perspective, this book here may also help them understand to allow a man to answer, to open up, and to talk about themselves without making them feel uncomfortable. Anyway, let's finish up here, and we'll take in this magnificent view from Sydney Harbour. I look forward to chatting to you again tomorrow from a different location with a different message. I'm going through book summary after book summary at the moment, so bear with me. I'm sure that we're going to learn heaps over the coming weeks, because there is plenty to learn, plenty to discover, and plenty to share. So thank you very much for joining me on Jim's 5am Club, and we'll chat again. Yassas, good lucky, and we'll talk again. Bye for now.